Hello boys, my name is Kuliyoshi and welcome back to my 100% playthrough of The Legend of Zelda, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition for Nintendo Switch. We left off on Legend mode, trying to get all the hard mode Skulltulas and complete the game on normal and hard. So we're continuing that. We have to play as Sheik for this next mission, and this is one of the few missions that is actually kind of tight. So our goal, it seems simple at first, but it's kind of on an international timer. Here's the simple fact. We have to capture 7 or more enemy keeps before the base opens, and or otherwise defeat Darunia more than once before the base opens. Otherwise, the Skulltula does not show up. This means we effectively have no choice but to not only take the boulder keeps, but both Goron keeps as well, or at least that's what I'm rooting it as. If it turns out that the setup doesn't work, then I may have to also take Chief's Room as well, so it's gonna be actually a pretty tight battle. I need to make sure it's on hard. Yes, it is. Alright. Beyond that, it's actually really simple since we have a legendary weapon, but the rest of the stuff, I'm not sure about. It's definitely not gonna be any easy one by any means. We basically have no choice but to kill all the captains here, and we have to take all the keeps, so it is gonna be pretty slow. The first part is more or less the same as before, however, things will get a little bit more tighter later on because we now have an additional goal to complete. We may have to sacrifice a little bit of the Goron thing, or I guess not taking the boulder keeps right away for this to work, but beyond that, we're basically gonna have to play the mission like we do before, except we're more than likely gonna have to kill the keep saboteurs, and we're also going to have to do other stuff as well. So yeah, immediately after we take this keep, we're gonna head straight to the right side area. We do not have to take that chest, so kill these guys here, and then we're gonna hit this and go straight up. This is actually part of the regular speed run, but usually I am not interested in doing this, but because I have to capture 7 keeps, I'm basically gonna make it easier for me and say that I basically have to take all of the keeps. This is pretty easy if you have the right route planned, since you can kind of take them really quick. The problem is, you're likely to lose the keeps while you're doing this, so rather than trying to take too long to do this, I'm just going to use the time that Darunia spawns in to just try and capture all of the keeps as fast as I possibly can. That's about it. And there we go. So our first warp is going to take us to the one on the left, which we could actually take a bit later, but I'm going to do it now to make it easier. And then I'm going to take the one on the bottom right, and that should hopefully get all of them down. And then, of course, we have to defeat the captains and defend them, too. All before the ally base even opens, making it a very difficult mission. This is actually probably one of the harder build runs to do, since you're sort of on a hidden timer. Nope, I do not want to use that. Okay, Darunia has just appeared. We have a check mark, so we can go straight to him, so we're gonna capture this and go straight to him using this ocarina. The only other thing we have to do is defeat Darunia more than once before the enemy base opens, and that is super easy to do, because Darunia can be taken down pretty quickly with the help of attacks as well as other stuff. So we're going to use that to our advantage to very quickly take him out. I can do an infinite loop on him, so I'll go ahead and do that. What I mean by infinite loop is you can infinitely dodge here to get other attacks. I have to special out of that since I can't do anything else. Thanks to Seek's legendary weapon, this will be significantly easier than previously mentioned, and now comes my least favorite part in my opinion. We have to take that second keep at some point, but we can't do it without dealing with the keep saboteurs first, so this next part we more or less have to just take out all the keep saboteurs, which is already pretty easy to do. It's just gonna be a bit annoying if we lose anything. So we're gonna go as fast as we can to try and take them out. Make sure none of them live. We need to make sure we keep our keeps as well, so of course we're gonna take them out. One of them's getting stuck, which helps out a lot. And there we see Darunia is gonna reappear. This time around we're not gonna take him out immediately. Instead we're gonna take out his buddies to keep saboteurs first. We might lose a boulder keep, but honestly I don't care. I wanna take the other guys out first and then very quickly go in towards other stuff. Again, this will likely cause us to lose the boulder keep, but as long as we take out the keep saboteurs, we should be fine. Alright, now we'll just take out the keep on top and we should be good for now. I find it quite interesting. At first, Darunia goes aggressive and tries to go for the base, but after you defeat him once, he's like, okay, I'm gonna take back my keep instead. Which is actually probably a lot more annoying than the other stuff. Okay, thankfully we took all the keeps rather quickly. Alright, so a little bit of a minor time inconvenience, but beyond that, this is more or less like we would do the regular run. Basically, this about the same, except we likely will have to recapture the boulder keeps along the way. So, oh, and the most important part is I have to kill Darunia before the cheap stuff. I like how it says that, and he's not even battling with any of them at all. He's kind of moving past. Now he's stuck. Okay. Now we want to leave Limpa here because we want to defend our keeps first, obviously. So we're gonna do that and kind of just ignore him. If it gets really bad, we could do something else altogether. All right. Okay, that should complete the secondary objective once we do this. Alright, so Darunia is defeated for a second time. Now this will allow us to do the setup. Now it only counts falling back the second time. It's also really conveniently also reduces the morale as well, making it a lot easier to keep the keeps. And now we just go around and kill all the captains we missed the first time we did this. Oh, and also because of my fairy grind setup, I'll be able to do a fairy magic at the end of this. And that's about it. We have basically all the keeps we can capture, so now we just have to let the base open itself. And as you can see there, Impa kind of just cleared his way to the end. There's no point in taking him to the end. In fact, since you don't have to capture the left keep, my beginner strategy I heavily recommend if you're having trouble with this is to go straight for the middle as soon as possible. Because if you can, what I'm saying is, this keep right here next to that vein, you can intentionally leave it and Impa will not move from that position. So if you're having trouble with that mission, you can use that time to take out the other keeps first and then come back when you're absolutely ready. It'll make the mission a bit longer, but it definitely works. So now the gold Skulltula should spawn in a middle of a second. Of course, we can't necessarily do it right away. I'm pretty sure we have to capture the Thieves' Room as well, so we are about to... Oh, okay, never mind. There it is. And there we go. Spawned right on time, too. So we had to take all of the keeps there. What's funny is we didn't technically take 7 or more enemy keeps. We apes, but it seems like taking these 6 on the side seemed to work out good enough. And from there, we are just going to do other stuff. I forgot to use fairy magic. We'll just use it now. Make him weak, so we can defeat him a bit quicker. And go for Bolero Fire to do extra damage. Oh great, he did the thing. We'll have to use the time to set up a different profile. What I mean is he ulted, so he didn't take any damage for that, but... Okay, we still beat him pretty quickly, though. Because of all the stats we have, we can beat him much more quickly than if we had done it any other time. And yeah, just like that, we've collected the Skulltula. I definitely made that look easy, but it's not easy by any means. Remembering to capture all of the keeps can be kind of annoying. You automatically capture 2 as part of this. Actually, not just that, like 4 as part of the storyline, but you also have to capture the Goron keeps too, so it gets kind of tricky if you don't know what you're doing. But yeah. Funnily enough... Oh, 7 or more keeps. Okay, so I just have to control 7 or more keeps, but... Again, I already control 2 of them. So, yeah, I would just capture everything but, like, 1 thing there. And it would work out. But anyways, pretty easy mission. Once you get the hang of it, that is. We did it pretty quick as well. Because of all the stuff I've been doing, I've been learning to speedrun this game quite a bit. Which is why I'm able to do some of these a lot quicker than usual. But anyways, continue to build some more of those pieces. Pretty soon we'll have all of them. Okay. This next one is going to be a normal mode playthrough. I'll just go right into it since I don't want to waste too much time. I'm playing Sheik, and since we're back into the early game, we're going to start using Link with Master Sword again to quickly kill enemies. Of course, we will be swapping between the two, meaning we just use Sheik anyways, because Sheik is still pretty quick. So anyways, the one thing I need, the only thing I need is, as Sheik, capture the East Room. I can't get this at the same time as Darunia's item. Funnily enough, it's faster to get Darunia's item second in this mission, but I prefer to get... I decided to get it first because Darunia has a really cool win animation. Anyway... Alright. Jeez, I didn't even need to do that. I'll just do that instead. Okay. All I have to do is capture the East Room, which is, I believe, down a little bit further. There's not a lot you can do to speed this up, so I basically go in, kill a lot of enemies, go in, capture the lakeside keep, take the reinforcements out, and then kind of just defend Hyrule the best we can. She doesn't actually go towards the lakeside keep until a bit later, so there's unfortunately no good way to speed this up. There are some troops that do come out at some point. I'm just waiting for them to appear. Alright. Just on time. Bunches of lives of Pulse here. Some of them actually go upwards, so I'm gonna take these guys out first, since they also count as their own objective. This is definitely a good mission for finding lizard floss easily. Oh, this is the weapon. I actually don't know if I gotten this one. It's been so long, I may as well pick it up while I'm still there. Okay, I missed one of them. Oh wait, no way. I just realized what that's about. So that middle keep you can open up early, but it opened up a bit sooner. About to say, I have to take this out or Rudo's gonna go right back, but there we go. It was done pretty quickly. I'm gonna rescue Darunia. Oh yeah, and I do have to rescue Darunia as well. Since we're not playing as Darunia, he becomes the commander of this mission, so we need to make sure that we rescue him. And now we can enter the temple itself. Since you have so much time before you actually have to capture all of the keeps, we can use this time to more or less kill all the enemies here for more experience and extra drops. So that's what I'm going to do here. And then clean off the leftovers with Link while we wait. And then at some point I have to go to the East Room. Beyond that, we're just getting these rooms captured. Whoop. Don't want to take out that Beamos yet. Unfortunately, there is a lot of waiting, as no actual runes up top will actually give you the effect. Instead, you have to go all the way up top to find them. And now Riddle gets trapped. And now we have to take out troops with our other characters. Alright. And yes, not a single character could be allowed to drop from health, which technically includes our second character as well. If he also drops below 50% health as a bot, then that will count as the next one failing. It's a bit trickier than others because this is the first truly difficult mission, but of course before that we have to do a normal playthrough, which isn't that bad at all. It's very easy actually. Okay. There's our first floodgate, right on time. I don't actually need to care about Darunia at first. In the later run, I actually have to do this kind of quick, not only an efficient way, but also take out all the captains as well, which I could do using my second character. Alright, so this is the room we need. Again, the switch is already activated, but it doesn't allow us to go through immediately until much later. So we're capturing this. We have to capture this as sheep, because if we capture it as someone else, we can't get the chest inside. So we're ending that right now. Alright, here we go. Kind of another slow mission. You have to wait for all of these to activate before you even do anything. And there's also assault troopers as well. Oh my goodness, this thing won't even load, what the heck? Alright, we finally loaded into the cell chute. There's one that always seems to escape most of the time, so I'm taking that one out first. One way or another, you're gonna lose time on this, by the way. Because, you have to wait for, you may have, the Assault Troopers reach Darunia anyways. So I'm doing this as practice since I can't let Darunia fall below 50% health, so obviously I need to take out the Assault Troopers to protect him. We also have to switch to Link more or less a couple of times, just to make sure that we do other stuff. Beyond that, though... Oh, we can use this, actually, on him. Oh, come on, dude. I couldn't lock on to her for some reason. That was a bit annoying. Still did it pretty quick, though. So all I have to do now for the next part is, I have to play as Impa with a Giant's Blade. That part is confirmed. But I don't necessarily have to play as her as the main character, so I'm gonna actually make her the second one. Now, because I have to take out a lot of enemies, my first character is instead gonna be Link. And then I'll play as Impa with a Giant's Blade. Hopefully this still works. It could be kind of tricky if it doesn't work. We don't actually need fairies for any of this, so it doesn't really matter if we use or not. If anything, we'll probably ignore it. This is more or less an extension of the longer mission. What I mean by that is it's going to be more difficult. Because now, not only do we have to protect our other characters as well, but we have to the actual mission itself is pretty simple. Defeat King Dodongo before any of your allies hit 50% health. The 50% health part is the big problem, then is what I'm a bit worried about. So I'm using Link with Master Sword to make part of this mission a bit easier. The first part is more or less the same. In fact, it's very easy to do fast and efficient and not have her die or get to 50% health. All we do is hit them a couple of times and then she will usually be safe from there. So from there we kind of just more or less do the route the same, and then we very quickly take out the other troopers there. Oh, and midway through we get the ability to play as Impa. We do have our level 3 weapon, but we don't have our level 4 weapon quite yet, so it will take a bit longer. Oh, and there's Sheik right there. Alright. So we have to protect Sheik, as well as we gotta protect Rudel and Darunia as well. So that Sheik bot, whatever you see over there, we can't let any of them go into danger, otherwise we have to start from the beginning of the mission. Unfortunately, you can't open the keeps right off the bat. The biggest problem part happens right here because there's so many Lizards to take out that it gets really annoying. So I'm basically gonna try and take them out as fast as I possibly can. Also have to be careful that none of them make it to Rudel as well, though, so it's kind of tough. Okay. Got that done. Alright, so Impa's now playable. But now we have to cover Rudel. One of them always seems to escape and go straight to Rudel, which is a bit annoying. And Rudel's one of those weakly bots that will more or less hit everything, but now we just have to take out these enemies. Alright. I do not like the setup for this, so we're gonna have Impa, now that he's covered Darunia safely, gonna go to this location right here and hopefully stay there and not leave anywhere else. And we already rescued Darunia. I don't know what the game is talking about there. Can I just get hearts from that? Cool, alright. Don't have to heal at all. That saves a bit of time. Alright. The second part is more or less the same, except now I'm gonna try and take care of every single enemy in there before I do anything else. It's a strat I already have been doing quite a bit, but now I absolutely have to do it. If any of these guys escape, it gets really difficult to do stuff. So we're gonna just keep doing this until they die. And when I say them, I mean all the Skulltulas as well, which are technically a weaker commander, but they still will destroy us if they get out. So of course we have to take them out. So we'll take out as many as we can. Hopefully that gets us safe enough. And from there, I'll kind of just continue on. Okay. And yes, I have to kill all the captains to keep it safe. It is possible to easily lose the session if you don't know what to do. Guarding Hyrule itself is not the problem. Guarding everything else is, because, well, obviously they had to make it a little bit different. Like, they had to make it so that Hyrule only gets hit by one enemy at a time, because since she gets trapped during this mission, if it was too difficult, then when you'd go out, it would immediately cause a fail right off the bat. It would be super annoying. I need to check how they're doing just to make sure that they're fine, by the way, because, let's see here. Darunia's perfectly fine. Sheikah's taking a tiny bit of damage, but that should be fine. And yes, the floodgates are basically the same. There's not a lot thing we can do differently. We're just taking all these floodgate rooms, destroying the BMOs so they don't take them back for some reason or another. And then we just wait. And then just hope that stuff is going down. Sheik is taking a ton of damage. I have to actually rush up there next. After we take out this lizard floss, of course. Because, Sheik is one of our commanders. We cannot let him fall below... Okay, he's fine now, I guess. But she was getting hit quite a bit. We can't let her get hit that much. Seems there's a command we can take care of. This big bow's kind of cheeky. We supposedly knew where he was. The problem was, there's other problems we have to deal with. Oh, and there's another one over here, too. Okay. Ha! Killed it right as the thing spawned. Okay, now the rest of the strategy is pretty simple. Just free Hyrule right off the bat, save her, and then immediately take out all of the Salt Troopers, making sure none of them reach Darunia. If any of them reach Darunia, bad things will happen. Thankfully, once we get this, we get a convenient shortcut that allows us to hit this enemy over here as it's coming. And yes, there's more that show up as you drain the water, so... But it didn't seem like there was nothing. Those guys appear after you drain the water. Alright, now we defeat the Salt Troopers, and then we do the second part. You can kind of see how important it is now to kill captains. And we're keeping Impa to the side so that she can defend Darunia if necessary. We're probably going to use Link to take out King Dodongo, though. Oh. I don't know why I took that. I literally came here just to take out the Assault Tune. Of course we can't let Darunia get hit by these. That will immediately drain him below 50% health, so of course we need to do other stuff. Okay, Impa can move more around this area, actually. This will put her more closer to Darunia. Great, I hate when that happens. That tends to happen a lot, where he just does other stuff. Oh yeah, and the Lens of Truce is gonna activate as well. Alright. Now, there's gonna be summoners as well, but the only thing we have to defeat, really, is King Dodongo, so that's what we're gonna go ahead and do. Alright. I'm gonna take our big boy into this area, and then I think I'm gonna actually have fun and have them trade places, so... Now we wait. Now we wait. And it'll show... Okay, there we go. That's the fact we want. Alright, so with that in mind, we're gonna actually have Impa take the fight to the big boy Zelda. Zelda. And meanwhile, I'm gonna run over here because I have a King Dodongo to defeat. Speaking of which, since I have Extreme Cross, I can skip his animation, so of course I'm gonna do that. Oop. But first I need to do this to make him weaker, which is probably better. And there we go. We immediately made him down. There's not a lot we can do beyond that, so I'm just trying to take him out as soon as possible, and then hoping I can take him out before Darunia becomes in danger. Assuming we did it right, we should be fine, and sure enough, it looks like that worked. Okay, there was a big Poe there, but he's nowhere near dead, so we'll just take it out with Link while we're here. And now we wait for the Skulltula. And now we literally just wait for that to appear. And now, Eldest Forces move well. Ooh. Okay, now the only thing I can do, I'm gonna actually make sure I know about this, is to take a look at where's the actual Skulltula. It's located far north of the map. Okay, well, that's simple. So we have to go up here now that we're done. Now, because of this long delay, it is still possible that someone might get to 50% health a bit later. However, until we do this specific setup, there's no good way to get the Skulltula to spawn. As with many of setups, the Skulltula will not show up until a lot of other stuff is done. I'm right here. Okay, it was further down. Okay, there we go. We did that. Now it's time to actually defeat Zelda normally. If I should still be able to take her down right away. As an extra safety, I'm gonna move, So we basically get the iconic ending that was expected in the storyline, with Impa facing off against fake Zelda, which is actually intended for the storyline anyways. I'm doing it this way because she has a level 3 weapon, she's more than capable of handling herself, and Zelda herself is not actually that bad, so we'll go ahead and do that, and there we go. Mission over. One of the longer missions by far. Having to take out King Dodongo alone adds so much extra time. Of course, after you take out King Dodongo, Zelda kind of panics there for a bit. That's when we find out it's actually Wizrow in disguise, if anybody has seen the storyline. This is definitely one of the longer missions, in my opinion, by the way. Definitely takes longer. Alright. Next is... It got stuck, of course. Alright. Back to Twilight Field. Alright. We actually were supposed to do this on normal one time to get Lana's Ever Container theme, but didn't get that, so I guess we're doing a speedrun with Lana. This is probably going to be one of the harder ones to get. Lana only has her level 2 weapon, and she has no other extra way of making this faster, so it'll definitely be more difficult. Beyond that, we were actually supposed to use the Land of Twilight, the normal playthrough, as a way to get the heart container, but we forgot to do that, of course, so we're doing it now instead. This time around, things will be very different. So now we have... Okay, so for this one, it's pretty simple. We need to defeat Minda at least once before Sea of Leaves, which is already pretty easy to do, and you're gonna see we're actually gonna do that as part of the speedrun. Oh, and yes, Lana has a different costume because, of course, we, to do extra stuff. Now, I'm not saying this is gonna be hard because, Lana is more than capable of doing this anyway, so I'm not worried. I'm just sad that I can't use somebody with a level 4 weapon to make this easier. By the way, even if you go there right away, you can't actually save her right away until moments later, so I just gonna take the time to take out the elite enemies and then save her. And there's no hidden effects set up. All I have to do is defeat Minda before Sia leaves, and it's already pretty easy to do so. All you have to do is just take her out right when she appears, which is already pretty straightforward to do, and then you kind of just go to the Sorcerer's Keep, and that's it. I'm more or less worried about failing the mission before doing other stuff. Now, you're not required to capture all keeps before... Eeps and do stuff before Sia leaves, thank goodness. That's why it specifically mentions you can capture all keeps at any point, but you have to defeat Minna at least once before Sia leaves. What's funny is if you look at the Skulltula marker, it doesn't actually appear the same way as you did before. Instead, it has an effect that actually hides what you're supposed to do, which is why it says execute mark while defeating enemies or stuff like. In this case, it would actually say defeat question mark before question mark leaves and capture all keeps, as a way to try and hide it for some strange reason. But if you know what's going on, you can easily get it done anyways. I will say, exploring Agatha tends to be really hard to do due to once it had our ability to just straight up sometimes attack all enemies rapidly. And yes, we have to capture every single keep, so of course that means we have to get rid of all the Twilight too. That part is pretty simple once you see the strategy that I'm about to do the second time, because there's a strategy I use that will make it a lot easier. Beyond that, it's more or less just do the same thing as I do before, meaning it's easy, just more tedious because of having to take out every single keep, and probably getting every single owl ready as well, just to make sure I'm ready to get other stuff. And from there, yeah, nothing else to do, really. Okay, good. So Minda's forces always appear at the same time, so the only thing we do differently, which we will see as part of trying to get more experience anyways, I'm just gonna go in and kill Minda right off the bat before anything else happens. And by the way, you can't skip this first summon because Central Keep doesn't actually open until later, so we more or less have to just escort Agatha right away. That being said, we do still have to take out the enemies to make sure they don't get too trolly. For this first part, obviously, we're not going to take them out. It gets a little bit tiring to do so all the time, so we will just do this, and then for the speed run, we'll just go straight for Minda right here. I will capture another keep before going for her this time around. Beyond that, we're just gonna attack her and hope for the best. So this is basically what you have to do to complete the objective. When Minda spawns, just kill her right off the bat. It seems tricky at first, but with the right levels, it's actually not that bad. Once she's down on the ground, you won't have to worry about her for a little bit, and then she'll do an extra effect where she teleports to the keep later. Now, because we don't have a little bit of, because we can't actually do anything in the next spot, I'm actually going to use the next time on the map to take out the skill summoner right now instead. So we can do that. And we'll take out the other handers while doing that. And from there, we're just waiting for the middle keeps to open so that we can attack the other characters. Where did the actual Airfall go? That's kind of confusing. That's my one part I'm confused about. Okay, here's the keeps opening now, so we can go over there if we want. Oh, actually, here's the powerful air class. We'll just take that out. Alright, there we go. Okay, now we just have to attack the Sorceress Keep. And from there, it's pretty simple. The rest of this is pretty simple. Alright, so now Minda teleports to the Sorceress Keep after we take her out once. Okay, now we have to take out Minda a second time, and then the rest of the mission is pretty simple. Our keep almost never falls during this. All we have to do is take out Minda a couple more times and we're good. Okay, that's enough. Minda's one of the ones where 50% health, she does something extra. By the way, Agatha automatically becomes in trouble here. There's nothing you can do. Even if she has full health, she'll always be wounded to half health here. When you do a speedrun, things are definitely a lot different. Okay, Agatha takes a little while to get defeated here as well, so we can just go straight up top. And go straight for that. Now, if this was the hard mode playthrough, which you'll see appear in a minute, we would have to do some extra gameplay to take out every single dirt nut in here while still taking out Minda rather quickly. Beyond that, though, we are just waiting. And because our thing gets taken, we have to deal with that appearing again. As you can see, you lose your keeps pretty easily in this, so you'll more likely have to defeat every single captain to make sure they don't fall. Oh yeah, that also means you get all these annoying messages as well as like, keep is falling, or like, I'm trying to defeat Minda here, for crap's sakes. Crap's sakes, Minda. Yeah, I'll just do it here, I don't care. Okay, it's actually a lot scarier than I thought. I did not think of this, actually. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, I was about to say. I was about to say, she usually doesn't get into danger, and that time she did because it was on a higher difficulty. Whoops. But we finished it anyway. Told you it would be fine. On hard mode, of course, we have to guard her. In fact, there's tons of troops to take out, so we'll have a lot more fun the second time around, because we'll have to attack everything multiple times. Taking the keeps at first seems easy, but taking everything else, that's when things get a bit more difficult. Thankfully, I did root this quite a bit, like, off-screen when I did attempts. I actually intentionally did one on easy mode, of course, where I captured all of the keeps, and so, yeah. It's pretty simple to do, it's just, there's a small problem with it. It can take a little bit while if you don't know what you're doing. Actually, wait a minute. I think we did that the last time anyways. We set it up so that we took her out as she lost all the keeps. But anyway, nothing much else to do. Alright, now we do the same thing again, but on hard. Nothing has changed. We more or less are using the same exact weapon we just used. Except this time we have to capture all keeps and defeat Midna once before CF release. Which means, yeah, it's another easy one. I don't know why there are so many easy ones in here, but I feel like they should have made it more challenging. Well, I guess taking all keeps can get a bit obnoxious, but even then, that just incentivizes you to kill all the troops as fast as possible. And yes, Agatha always becomes in trouble at that one point. It's very unlikely that even if you kill mobs that she won't get in trouble at least once. Alright, I forgot. Yeah, it's hard. I have to do that all the time now because I get so tired of HEOT other stuff. I forget if it's on hard or not sometimes, and that's my way of checking. But yeah. So I'm basically going to nickname this playthrough Captain %. Basically, I am gonna try and kill every single captain, making sure all air floss die on the red side, as well as taking out all of Midna's troops. Midna has quite a few dark nuts that on her side as well, so it definitely takes a little while. And I'm including the weaker captains, of course, as well, because if we don't do that, either character could die. Although we don't really care if they get weakened, we still have to kill them anyways, just to make sure we're fine. Even on hard, these guys die pretty quickly thanks to our level up. Oh, that's the hook shot part. I'm gonna actually do this a little bit slower. Instead of going to the stats right away, I'm gonna actually escort Agatha right away. So we're gonna make this a bit quicker. And yes, if even a single monster is on screen, Agatha will always attack it. It makes it so annoying to do this properly. Oh. Okay, she made it a lot quicker this time around. Says that as she... Oh, okay, alright. That was pretty quick. First part. This time. Beyond this, the strategy is more or less the exact same as previously stated, but now we have to get extra stuff done as well. Unfortunately, it takes her a little while to get going, but it's fine. We got the first part done. Now, the trickiest part is whether or not we'll be able to kill Midna fast enough. It should be simple, but yeah, I'm a bit worried. But I should be fine. The rest of the setup is actually much more simple, albeit very annoying due to having to swap around other stuff. Also, I think the central keep hasn't opened up yet. Oh, now it opens up. That's a bit annoying because we get a delay now because Midna's forces are not there. So we have to wait for this stupid text box to clear. Now we can finally take out Midna's forces. Had to wait so long, we got to do an extra attack. Alright. And bam! Okay. One thing I think I'll do a bit differently is immediately after defeating the skilled summoner, I'm going to go straight for other stuff. Beyond that, though, this is going to be the same as we did before. Wow, she went, like, straight out of one of her attacks. Okay, now the keep has opened up. That was actually really quick. Alright. Now we take out all of the Dark Nuts and the Skilled Summoner and then defend our base as well as Agatha. This is more or less a trickier version of the other spots because there's lots of reinforcements coming and there's also other stuff. So this is more or less a longer version of what we did before. Normally we would go straight to the keep and have Midna retreat a second time, but we can't do that. So instead we're gonna go over here, do some other stuff. Okay, now he's been defeated once, so that should technically free us from the second spot. Oh, I can see why she got attacked a lot. There's written dart nuts everywhere. We need to kill them, obviously. Get off of this with alt, and then quickly warp over to take care of everything else on the right side. And Sia always leaves the battlefield at that same time. There's not a whole lot you can do to make it easier. And now we have to take out the other keeps. I'm not going to take out everything necessarily this early. Instead, I'm going to take out all the captains, which are these big Aeroflosses, right away. Alright, now the Aerofloss are finally gone. That was barely early in time, by the way. Alright. Now we just take all the keeps, and that's that simple. Even if we don't take out Midna right away, it'll still be really quick as long as we take out the other enemies. And yes, we will have to rescue Agatha a second time, of course. So now she can be knocked back. Alright, good. And also, because we're doing all keeps, we get some extra text boxes as we dispel the Twilight Realm. And then... So, other than a couple of our forces here and there, the red forces should be gone, and now we just have to worry about Midna's forces. Oh, speaking of which, here's some right there. As you can tell, it's actually pretty simple to do this. Only annoying problem is having to capture all of the keeps, which takes a little while to do. Defeating Midna before Sia retreats is basically the equivalent, by the way, of taking her out before she even goes to the keep. Instead, you just, like, fully defeat her by making her lose all of her health, which we already did. So, pretty simple. Beyond that, we're just gonna clean up all the captains we missed. And then our last bit will be, we're gonna have to save Agatha from some opponents. That should be it. I have to do it this way because if I leave anything around, either the base will fall or something else will happen. So I'll kill these enemies just to make sure they're all gone. Probably don't need that, but... Alright. And since we already killed all the Dark Nuts, we already completed that goal as well, which is nice. And now for the interesting part. It is possible to maybe skip this, but as far as we know, this is another hidden effect, by the way. When you take a certain amount of the keeps, Midna will then summon keep saboteurs, which you have to take out. But yeah, this is more or less a kill all enemies page. And what I mean by all enemies, I don't necessarily mean by all other stuff. I mean by the enemies headed for the keeps, obviously. And now we saved Agatha a second time as well. So assuming we did this right, no keep should fall, and now we're free to walk in, take the last keep, and be done with this place. Alright, keep saboteurs gone. And now we have to capture the last keep as well. Unfortunately, no skips. Gotta capture the bridge keep as well. Which means we may have Midna attack us a little bit while doing this, or even follow us, which would be even more annoying, but it should still be fine. Because as long as the Skulltulas shows up, we'll be okay. I actually planned this route in advance. I saw some other people trying to do it, and I noticed they would constantly have to recapture some keeps, so I came up with the method of just trying to kill every single Dark Nut in this game. And now that we finally got all of them done, the Skulltula finally shows up, and there we go. It's done. And for the last little bit, yep, return to the Kakariko Village theme. Yes, I finally found out what it is. It's Kakariko Village Remix from Twilight Princess, funnily enough, which is where this where this game is set up. I like how just now it says the West Keep is in danger of falling, but because of all the troops we defeated, it should be just fine. And there we go. So because Midna is defeated with all the other stuff she says, I've been completely beaten. Alright, do your worst to me. If you defeat her faster while she has one Twilight Keep or more, she'll say, I never thought I'd be beaten while still have access to the Twilight's power, which we just saw actually only a moments later when playing our normal playthrough. I will say this is definitely longer due to having to capture all the keeps, but as you saw there, conveniently the Skulltulas shows up right over here. I probably could skip killing some captains. I just prefer to kill them all because, well, it makes this mission a whole lot easier. Because one of the other times I did it, I had to recapture keeps multiple times, and it got really annoying after a while. I did not like it one bit. That's why I came up with the idea of just straight up kill all the captains. Keeps your base safe, also keeps your other stuff safe. Pretty easy. Bit annoying that we couldn't use anybody other than Lana, but it should still be fine. By the way, this next part is where things are gonna be a bit tougher because we don't have the ability to use any choose second characters here. Well, I guess we do, but I'm saying is this next one might be a bit trickier. We don't need much here, so we'll go ahead and play on normal mode. We can definitely do this and not have Minna as our main character, by the way. We just need to make her a character. Alright. That being said, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you enjoyed, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video where we continue doing this game on normal and hard mode. I mean, legend mode. Normal and hard. So then, leave a like if you enjoyed, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.